Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you're all well. If you've never been here before, my name is Siobhan, and I do a 3-card draw on your past, present, and future. It's just a window into today, the 24 hours in which you see this. Take what you need and leave the rest. Today's message is pretty intense. It's very specific, and it's probably not for everybody who might click on this video, but it's definitely for some of you. And so with that, I'm just going to say, if you like the video, share it with somebody that you like. I'm starting to get on YouTube. I'm starting to do the things, but it's not my strength, the technology part of this universe. So I get to it when I can get to it. But until then, I'm just here. I'm always just going to be here for the sharing of this gift. Okay. So, in relationship to your past, stuff that's already happened, you have a very specific card today. Actually, I have 2 cards that are in what we call reversal in tarot. And this one here is the 7 of Swords, which I'll turn it upright so you can see the intensity of this card. It's an intense card. All right. Swords are about conflict. And so this card is in reverse because this card specifically, when it's in reverse, is about taking a look at your past and looking at where you weren't in your highest version of yourself, and we all have those places, right? So this is no judgment. Please don't take it that way, right? If we're not able to look at the mess and figure out how it became a mess, then we don't get the insight in how to avoid it the next time. But this card specifically in relationship to your past is talking about areas where you just, the word they use in the card is deceived yourself, where you're not necessarily in full alignment with who you are, or where you may have done something. This would be a card, for instance, if you're struggling with an addiction. This could be about periods of time where you weren't able to be your higher version of yourself, and things that happened and occurred during that time period, and they're up today. Okay, because this card landed in your past. So what it's asking you specifically to do is to do what we do in AA called an inventory. You know, it doesn't have to be fancy, but when you were feeling non-judgmental of yourself, when you're feeling like you can look at your life, your past, and be a kind observer, somebody who's going to cull what you need to know, not somebody who's going to spend a lot of time beating up on yourself. That is not going to get you anywhere. It's just not. But you have to look, because there's something there. There's something niggling at you. And whether you're conscious about what that specifically is, you might just know. Okay? Might have been an argument you had, might have been a decision you made, could have been a place where you were at in your life where you decided to leave, you know, a partnership or a friendship or a job or a location. And there was energy and situations in that you played a big part in and that you really didn't recognize. Well, now it's saying you gotta, before you go forward, you gotta. So, 7 of Swords. It's about you, honesty, and getting clear and being the honest version of yourself in relationship to your past. I think it means for the future too, but specifically in relationship to your past, there's something there. Who you are today. It's an interesting card. Okay, so this is the Hermit. The Hermit is all about self-reflection. In the regular tarot, it's a card of an individual in a black coat with a single lantern going off to kind of get in contact with their inner selves. In this card, because it's in reverse, this is about being isolated. Possibly this is related to this past card. It kind of feels like it, to be quite honest. And I can see where this fits in my own version of life. So you've withdrawn as a result of a set of circumstances, something related to your past, and you are in isolation, emotional isolation. You're not necessarily even engaging that much with people around what's really going on inside of you. And this card is saying to you, it's time to come out of isolation. You have hermited enough that in your day to day, you're going to be asked to come out of emotional isolation. Maybe it could be as simple as you're going to therapy today, or you're going to a meeting today, or you're meeting with a friend who you can really talk to. But this is about choosing to show up in your life. And some days that's really hard. Some days we feel depressed or super anxious. But this card is saying you've gone to lick your wound somewhere. You've done it for a period of time, and your emotional isolation is now hurting you. You're too isolated. So in your day-to-day, look for the gentle ways to come out of that. To be kind to yourself and say, you know what? This too shall pass. We say that in AA a lot. This too shall pass. Okay? In the position of your future, you've got the Five of Cups. Okay? This is about grief. This is about loss. This is about things you've lost and you're not going to get them back. They're broken. Whether it's a passing of somebody, an ending of a relationship, a place you don't live in, the same kind of things we were talking about in the first card. This, in your future, if you do not wish to bring this into your future, if you do not wish to have this kind of reckoning and grief in relationship to what you're creating, I am pretty confident that the message is pause, because you need to go back. You need to look at what you've done, choices you've made. Look, we all get born kind of into these families, and we move with these systems, and they affect us, and they sometimes do really horrible things to us, okay? They make us wounded warriors. With those set of circumstances and that certain amount of I'm not in control because you're a kid or whatever, you build tools and coping skills, and they're not working for you. They're not. And it's time to reckon with that. And in your day, it's about finding a way to come out of that isolation. Sometimes the best way to come out of isolation is to just sit down with a journal and write yourself a really nice letter. One where you just let it out, whatever it is. Because there's no judgment. It's a feeling. But your feelings are going to lead you to the next right action. How you feel about yourself is going to impact every single thing about your life, including your future. And in your future, there is the potential to repeat those patterns. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to. There's a path. All of this will pass soon. But it's not going to pass without your loving attention to how to make sure it doesn't happen again. And we all need to do that. We need to take the time to lovingly embrace the fact that we've made mistakes or made choices. And is there really such a thing as a mistake? I don't know. Opportunity to learn something? Yeah. But I don't know that anybody wakes up and decides, oh, I want to make a decision that's going to negatively impact me and the people around me. I don't think we really mean that. We might be careless. We might be in addiction. We might be hurting and not able to get out of our own way. The compassion for that is important. But this reading today is saying it's time to get out of it. You're ready. And even if you don't feel ready, there's some gentle reminders here that you got a process you can follow. You can take an inventory and take a look at what didn't work and lovingly make a list. Okay, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to give this, some attention and love. I'm going to get a therapist. I'm going to go to an AA meeting or whatever it is, I'm going to get on my bicycle today and ride for half an hour so that I can soothe myself out of emotional challenges that I'm really scared of or that are hurting me or that I'm just so fucking tired from all of it. And I don't want this anymore in my future. I don't want this kind of level of chaos and drama and cruelty. So you're in a good place, people. But it's an uncomfortable place. I was watching a Buddhist teacher I like a couple of days ago, and she said, she's very funny. Her name is Pema Chodron. She's kind of cool. Anyway, she said, I tell my students all the time that you have got to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. That being uncomfortable is a state in the human condition that we spend an enormous amount of time in and that we fight and hurl ourselves against in such a way that we make more work for ourselves. And she didn't say the piece about making more work for himself. That's me after having done, I did a pretty good inventory this weekend. I had some stuff going on. Anyway, it's Monday. I hope you have a really good Monday, because tomorrow is not going to be Monday. And we only have 24 hours. I don't know what's coming tomorrow. And some days I don't feel, some days I really feel like this. I want to go in my corner and I don't want to come out. Too much has happened to me or in my life. And I don't want a future filled with broken cups and unmet promises. And the path to that is to clean my side of the street. I have to know how I participate in my life in a way in which it does not serve me, or maybe even not just me. But for today, we're talking about me and you. Not your children, not your parents, not all the things that we are responsible for. You. There is something that is really bothering you. And whatever that amends is or connection to yourself, it's important enough that it's saying, you got to look at this today. That's okay. You'll get there. All right, everybody. It's that time of day to get going and moving outside of my universe. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you have some really quality time with yourself today. On your lunch hour, 15 minutes, sit down and tell yourself, I am only going to be kind to myself right now. Whatever the words are that are rolling in my head, or the food that I put in my mouth, or the choices that I make about my tomorrow, I am only going to be kind to myself today. That's where it starts. Good luck. I'll see you tomorrow.